You can't make that up. You can't make that up. You can't make that up. Stories from the road. You can't make that up. You can't make that up. You can't make that up. Stories from the road.
We had just finished the show at the Bama Jam, and I was standing outside the bus, smoking a cigarette at the time. I smoked cigarettes, and just sitting there chilling, hanging out. We were actually parked next to Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top's bus, and Billy had walked off the bus in his PJs, his little beanie hat that he wears, and just kind of small talked me for a little bit. And I was mentioning to him how excellent their show was, and he said because it was a country festival, he wished he had played some more country music as opposed to just their rock stuff. And I asked him just nonchalantly, well, I mean, if you did, what would you have played? And he goes, well, put that cigarette out and come on up and I'll show you. And he opens the door to his tour bus. And so I was like, well, okay. So I put my cigarette out and I went up on Billy Gibbons' tour bus, and it was just him and I up on his bus because he has his own, he's by himself up on his bus. And I'm sitting in the front lounge across from Billy Gibbons, and he pulls out his Mac computer and he flips it open to show me these songs he had just literally cut on the bus, and he hadn't even showed his partner, is what he said to me. And he goes to the refrigerator and cracks a beer, and he goes to hand me the beer, and at the time I was on a non-drinking tour, and I was kind of a little hesitant, and I go, well, actually it's a non-drinking tour. He looks at me, he's like, have a beer with me, man. And so I was like, well, it's Billy Gibbons, you know? So I took a beer, and I drank the first beer, and he shows me like 3 or 4 songs, and we had another beer, and by the end of the conversation, I was like, man, I just want to make sure my bus is still here. So I look outside the front of his bus, and I had gotten left, what they call oil spotted. And this is the only time I'd ever been oil spotted. So I was extremely nervous, so I quickly call my driver, and he said that they're 15 miles up the road, so they turned back around to head to get me. And so Billy Gibbons had asked me, he goes, well, where are you guys headed? And I was like, well, we're headed to Nashville. And he said, man, if you guys were headed to Atlanta, you could have just rode with me.
Can't make that up. You can't make that up. You can't make that up. Stories from the road.